G'day fellow hustlers, it's Shadow here. I'm just doing a dungeon run with a random. Thought I'd run you through how to go about when you're fighting with someone you don't know. I find the best way is to wait and see what they're going to deploy. So this guy's deployed a tank, so I don't need to. He's got a res and a restore, so I'm going to add a res to that. I'm also going to add this is a teleporting tank, which is good for these multiple stages. Sorry about that, that was my cat's going crazy. And I'm going to add this guy, this mage here, which is one of the ones that deals damage and restores health. So we'll see how that goes. It can be quite difficult playing with a random. I find it's best to take your time, watch what they deploy, and add your people depending on what they've put out there. Now I find, I should take you through my crew. I only take one archer. I find archers to be a liability in the dungeon. There are some stages that are really good, but the majority of stages have mages or archers that attack ranged units, which are your archers. I find the best thing in mages, I take one tank, one teleporting tank, and one archer. The rest are res mages and heal mages. So once again, he's got a heal. Sorry, he's got a res and a heal and a tank. So I won't be taking my tank. Always check out who you're fighting. So there's nothing real special here. So he's a ranged unit one again. So once again, I'll chuck in a res and I'll chuck in this damage heal mage. He's got a tank, I don't need to throw in a tank. And I don't like archers. So we're going along quite well so far. We've gotten through these stages with quite a bit of health. You can see I'm not in control of this, so I'm just following wherever he goes. He's chucked in a res, a heal and a tank again. We'll have a look at what we're up against. So once again, long range, extremely long range, so you don't want archers against this guy again. I'll chuck in the same, a res and the damage heal. Try and keep his tank with as much energy as possible. Always put in a couple of res mages because you never know when something bad's going to go wrong. So if they take out one of your res, you want a second res to bring him back. It's never good to go with one res. Like I said, if they take him out, that's it. That res is gone for good. He's going pretty quick, which is good. I'm cooking dinner, so it's kind of hard to keep up with him. So he's got a res, a heal, and another heal. So I'm going to have to chuck my tank in here. And I'm going to chuck my teleporting tank in. I'm going to chuck in my res, and I'm going to chuck in my damage mage that heals as well when it insta-kills. We're still not doing too bad. I've had better. But we're moving along. We haven't lost anyone, but we're losing health, which is a bit of a worry. Magic number of worries in the sport, that's not too bad, don't have to worry too much about that. So he's got a res and a heal. So once again I'll put in another res, the damage heal, and I'm going to put in my triple damage heal to, oh not triple damage, the insta-kill heal mage. Trying to get some health back in these guys. Always remember when you're running these dungeons, you want to go off someone who has similar health to you. It's a lot easier when they've got the same sort of health you have. So this one, no tanks. You just want archers and mages. So I'll chuck my one mage, my one archer in there. I'll chuck in the damage heal. Chuck in a res mage and another res mage. We'll go with that. Not going too bad. Keeping the health up. Being quite successful, to be honest. So that was pretty good. So you would have seen with that guy, melee units are useless because he flies. Which is why you need to take at least one archer with you. So this guy's pretty quick. I don't think he's even looking at the opponents we're up against. You can assume with ones like this, when there's a lot of people, there's going to be a good mix of people that attack ranged units and all that sort of thing. So I'm going to chuck in a res, the heal. I'll chuck in another res, and I'm going to chuck in my teleporting tank because he's really good in these multiple leg stages. He's pretty good because he wipes out the back units, which are the ones that attack your mages and long range units. The reason I always check my opponents, because under those modifiers sometimes it says res don't work and things like that, so you need to check those out. So this is going along nicely again, keeping the health up, which is what you want. So that's very good. That's a very good result. So he's straight away jumped to Awaken Symmetry. I would have at least checked this out to see if it's helpful to us. So I would have probably taken this because the crit and archers is pretty useless, and I would have increased the spell power by 40%. But as you can see, I'm not in control, so I've just got to follow this guy's lead. So this is the risk you take when you're fighting with a random. sometimes they just rush through it and don't really pay that much attention to what's going on in the game. As you can see from what I show you on the influence, there was an influence that would have worked in our advantage, but he completely missed it and just rushed through to us to another stage. A lot of people don't like using the influence because majority of the time it can work against you, but there are times when it works in your advantage. So I like to get to it and have a look to see what's available and then decide whether or not I'm going to do it or not. In this case, like I said, I would have taken the influence. Now I could message this guy and mention that, but he's going through at such a quick rate, I'm not really going to worry about it. So we've got 2 heals, 1 res, 1 tank, so I'm going to have to chuck in a few res here. And that's my heal. That's a second res. Critting warriors, critting archers. So that's, I'm not worried about that. Crit's nothing to be too concerned about. But with the amount of heal and res we've got at the moment, I might throw in my teleporting tank as well. So there were a lot that attacked gear mages there, so it's lucky we had quite a few res mages in there. So once again, he's got res, heal, heal, tank. We're up against the physical armor of warriors in the squad were reduced by 85%. Magic damage of fighters in the squad reduced by 20%. That's a bit of a concern, but once again, we just need a few res. The many that attack ranged. So these guys attack ranged but not mages, which is good. I'm going to chuck in my triple damage. It's not a triple damage. Insta kill heal. With a bit of luck, it might die and get rezzed pretty quick, and that brings about a healing minion. So this isn't going too bad. You can see we're getting a lot of health back, and what I hoped would happen happened. That mage died quickly and got rezzed and brought about a healing minion, which heals quite well. Gives you quite a lot of health back. With 2 stages to go, we'll get through this pretty easy, I'd say. Once again, there's nothing to worry about in the modifiers. Physical damage of archers in the squad, not worried. The crit of the fighters, not worried. Physical armor of all fighters in the squad will reduce by 30%. That's a worry, but 30% is not that great. Not too worried about that. So once again, res, heal, and teleporting tank. Going along very well again. Looks like we're going to get through this entire run without requiring to res anyone, which is really good. I might send this guy a message and let him know that he's part of Shadow Hustler's videos. Might want to look it up on YouTube and see it. So there's just a quick note to let them know what I'm doing. And the last one, this one's pretty basic. You want a couple of splash tanks. He doesn't have a splash tank, but I've got one, so I'll put my one in there. My res. I'm going to chuck in my insta-kill because it doesn't matter. A lot of the bosses reflect damage, so when this mage insta-kills, it reflects and they die. But at this point of the game, it doesn't matter anymore. I'm tempted. What have we got here? Oh, he's got an archer in there. One res, one heal. I want to put another res in there. Yeah, I'll put this one in. It's been a fairly easy run. I can't see us losing now. Even if we don't kill her this time, we've got enough warriors in reserve that we'll be able to dust the next run through. But I'm positive we'll beat her here anyway. Splash tanks are really good for this lady because she produces a heap of minions, and the splash axe kills them all quick. So you see there, my mage just died. So once you got down to 35%, my insta mage, insta kill mage came into effect, wiped her out completely. And unfortunately, though, the reversal of that is that it kills your insta mage. Looks like there's maintenance coming up now in the game. That's my clan leader Raxi. This is Ragnarok, one of the #1 clans in the game. Now this isn't necessary what he's doing here, but just to keep him happy, I'll do it. You get nothing for this. Some like to do it for their OCD just so it comes up to 100%, but like I said, it's not necessary for the game. So that's it. That's a random run through. He's already left, so we can end the journey. Now, there's a few people that like to save up their chests. They feel if you get to about 8 chests and then open them all at once, there's more chance of getting a leggy item. They could be right. Out of all the chests I've ever opened, I've never got more than an epic. So maybe I should listen to them and start doing that. But I've got a habit of opening them straight away. Anyway, that's a quick run through on the dungeon, and I'll do another one shortly. Cheers, guys. Have a good night.